And if you could just introduce yourself.
I play keyboards in Alice.
My name is Anna Maria, and I am the founder and vocalist in the band Vajra.
What was the initial start?
So we all have pretty storied histories.
I was just bored during COVID. Did a little demo, put it out, and it was pretty well received by the community. And
always had a thing for horror punk and stuff.
Something that started with me and a laptop during quarantine, and just like, oh yeah, all those times I said, if only I didn't have to work my job all the time, and now like I could have time to do that. Well, now this is that.
All right. And if you could just introduce yourself to the fine folks at home, I'd really appreciate that.
I'm Tom from Rise from Your Grave.
Hello and welcome. So for the audience at home, this is kind of a spoiler. Tom's already been on the show. The episode just hasn't been released yet. And I already know him. We've been friends for a while and talking back and forth. Yeah. And that's actually why he's on the show today. I'm super excited because he has a release coming out with Rise from Your Grave, and it is killer. I got to hear some of the tracks ahead of time, which always a bonus. Love hearing that. And I have to say, like, these songs are awesome. Like from the get-go, that first song, Ghosts in the Graveyard, is phenomenal. Like just start to finish. There's a wide variety of writing styles going on through here. I was telling one of my coworkers at work, one of your songs reminds me, like, it's fantastic writing, and it reminds me of one of the songs reminded me of a horror punk version of the death metal band Death, like from their first album.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I can hear the like the writing style and everything in it, but it's not like, it's very distinctly you. And I just gotta say, like, mad props, because your writing goes from like clearly like hard rock kind of inspired to thrash metal to like classic doo-wop and even pop punk, and it all just kind of works together. So
thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. What's funny about the Chuck Schuldiner thing is it's not actually back there anymore, but I used to have the Jackson Warrior that he used to play. I used to have one of those. Yeah, so that's awesome. Absolutely a huge fan of Death. So I will take that compliment.
Yeah. No, I loved their first album. That was one of my favorite things for a long time. Evil Dead, I learned that on guitar, and I would scream that song at the top of my lungs. Anyways, but we're here to talk about you. So I want to know a little bit about, like, obviously some of these songs have already been out, and for the audience at home, they'll figure that out when they see the track list and everything. But what went into the decision to put them all together in this one package?
So our last album was in 2021, and I had written we had actually the Void EP came out right before the pandemic hit. It was like January of 2020. And so our last album was kind of our pandemic album, right? And so I think as a fellow musician, you'll understand this, where it's like each song, each set of songs is written in a particular time in your life, and whether or not that's conducive to making music at the time or not, but they all have a certain feel, right? And after I finished that album, and I'm sure it happens to other people as well, but after I finished that album, I was kind of like, man, like really happy with the way these sounded, but I need some time to approach this differently, because you don't want to just make the same album again by just immediately going into the process again and making more songs. So I took a lot of time. As a matter of fact, Where Darkness Sleeps, which is the second song on the album, is actually on Horror Punk's Not Dead Volume 2. And that was the first song that was actually put together for the album. I had a couple of ideas, like In Love with Evil, I had kind of bits and pieces of put together, but hadn't finished yet. But that was originally the first song that I put together in terms of thinking, in a new writing cycle, if however you want to refer to that. But yeah, I mean, I got to give Dan his flowers on this one in terms of just not only putting together a great compilation, and he continues to do that. Horror Punk's Not Dead Volume 3 is also spectacular.
Oh,
but
beautiful. Good
yeah,
work,
it's great.
Dan.
And Chad with Shockwaves Volume 1, it's a similar situation in that where I had been given the opportunity to put something new together, and I thought, okay, well, I'll work on this song and then we'll just kind of see where I'm at. I don't think at any point I was considering being done with writing music or anything like that, but I was just kind of like, well, let's take some time off. And so I put Where Darkness Sleeps. I got that song really well put together, and I thought it might be time. It might be time to start. And shortly after that is when I got In Love with Evil together, and then Run There's Robots. All those songs that you've probably already heard already. The two singles that came from us, and then Where Darkness Sleeps and Ghosts in the Graveyard, all happened very quickly. And you'll hear it on the album, and I know you've heard it already. But the last, I pulled is it Europe? Europe does the final countdown. I pulled a Europe, and the opening and the ending of the album are the same song performed differently. And originally, the In Ghost in the Graveyard was performed and recorded as an acoustic song, and we quickly decided, hey, we're going to do a faster version of this for Shockwaves Volume 2, just as like we want to get just see what people think of kind of the process that we're in right now. And oh man, people love that song. I was not expecting. It was one of those songs where, because I was writing it on an acoustic, it had more of a jammy feel to it as I was working on it. And Brandon, our guitar player, was putting all the solos that you hear on the faster version, featuring Jason from Boogeyman, whom I love those guys to death. I've got to hang out with them in Arizona and stuff. They rule. What a fucking awesome time that was. But so anyway, so we put that together, not super quickly, but again, the music was already done, the lyrics were already done. We just kind of had to add some of the faster flares to that. And we both just kind of sat there and looked at each other and were like, I think this might be the one that people really like. I think this might be it. And especially after it came out, a lot of people had a lot of really nice things, which I appreciate. I'm not very good at taking compliments, but I do appreciate that. But oh my God, like people love that track. And it was one of those where I was a little bit caught off guard by how much people really enjoy it. But yeah, man, once Where Darkness Sleeps and we got Ghosts in the Graveyard out there, it was just full bore. Like, this is the time, right? We've got sort of the momentum. I'm feeling pretty good. Like, people are telling us they like the tracks. That feels pretty good. That motivates me to make more. Yeah, man. I mean, this has been, in terms of a writing cycle for me, has been the most fruitful in terms of like what I feel like has turned out the best. I love all the other stuff that I've done, but I spent a meticulous amount of time fixing things that I wasn't thrilled with, which wasn't always the case. And I don't remember if we've actually talked about this before or not, but there are some songs in our back catalog that like I love to death, and then there are parts of those songs where I'm like, if I had just spent a little bit more time, you know what I mean? Just you kind of make a compromise to make it work, and you look back at it and you go, if I just spent a little bit more time, I could have made that a little bit more exciting or a little bit more to the point or whatever it is. And I don't feel that way with any of these songs, and that's exciting to me. It really feels like we hit the gas and we go, and at the end of Ghosts in the Graveyard Reprise, like we let off the gas and we're done and we're out. I'm really enthusiastic about these, and all of the guys in the band, we're all in a group chat and we see each other every week because we've been practicing for our shows this summer and stuff like that. And like we all have a different favorite song, which is exciting. Because usually there, as with most things, there's one or two songs where everybody's like, oh, that's definitely the one. That's definitely the one that we're gonna want to put out, or this was, this one over here, this is the one we're gonna want to put out, and everybody has a different opinion on which song that is, and I think that speaks pretty good volumes about how excited we all are about these songs as well. So.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Just touching on that first song, "Ghosts in the Graveyard." For those if you guys haven't heard it, or when you hear it, you'll understand what we're talking about. It is very melodic. It has a very like I want to say, I don't know how to describe this without using these words, but it's like almost has this uplifting 90s alt feel infused into
Yeah.
like really solid, just solid writing and pop and like kind of a pop punk kind of thing, but without losing what makes you guys you and
Yeah.
like your unique sound and feel. And it has this like I always struggle with this because that like what you did, I think, especially in the choruses, it has this sound and this feel to it that I've been chasing my whole life as a musician. Like I heard it in Nirvana, I've heard it in other bands like all over, and I've never figured out how to capture it. We'll talk about that later, audience. But I love it. It's this like I describe it as like almost psychedelic, but like from like a Western perspective.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it's
I
got
think
that
I do.
like
Yeah. I think I have
yeah,
a feel of what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. Very melodic, very, very beautifully written. The song is incredibly catchy, and like you're saying, from start to finish, it just hits you. And then the immediate next song is a total tone shift, but it's
Yeah.
equally as amazing. And like
Yeah.
you go through this emotional journey going up and down throughout the album. And I like it just like it feels like these are stories that you've captured, like you were saying, in these moments in time, and you're sharing them all. And I think the way you put it all together, especially like you were saying, start and finish with the same song, just different versions of it, that's very clever, very like very bookended, and like you guys are gonna love it. I'm super hyped for this release. I'm super excited for your live shows. That's gonna be cool for you guys.
Thank you. I'm super excited. We actually just filmed some practice footage to kind of watch ourselves perform and stuff like that. And so we're gonna release a version of us playing In Love with Evil here very soon, so people can watch that.
Way cool.
Yeah, we're super excited. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on for us. In terms of just we've got some shows over the summer. We've got the Tales of Terror album release show in July and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of things. Again, as a guy who started playing songs in 2017 with just his recording rig and a couple of guitars, like it's things are really coming together, and it's really exciting for us. And I got to give Chad from Horror Shock the biggest shout out. Because not only is he, obviously Horror Shock is putting the album out, but Chad is the absolute best resource at any given time. Chad is the reason, for those of you watching at home, Chad is the reason that both versions of Ghost in the Graveyard are on the album, and that one is at the front and one is at the back. I mean, that was absolutely his choice, and I think it was the right one. Because I was really nervous, and I always have this sort of this choice anxiety, right, of whether or not should I do this? Is it too much? Are people going to get sick of it? Are people going to enjoy it? And immediately, right away, after I sent him both versions, he's like, "You got to put them both on there. There's no reason."
Oh yeah,
on there. So
and for just for clarity, Chad is he's a member of the Creepy Crawlers. He also runs Horror Shock Media. He is a great guy. He's been on the show with both the Creepy Crawlers and himself as representing Horror Shock Media. He's put out compilation albums. He's doing a lot of work for the scene. And right now, him and the Creepy Crawlers are playing shows all over the place. So
yeah, they're all over the place.
Chad, happy for you, sincerely. Like,
absolutely.
And what I love about like our scene right now is, Chad came in when for those outside of like our internet, circle or whatever, Chad stepped up and put out a compilation and built up a record label when another legend kind of stepped away for a little bit. And, he really kind of filled that void for a time. And now both Horror Shock Media and We Are Horror Records are back, both putting out fantastic bands. I've seen people working together amicably from both labels and working towards something more important than either, which is building up a solid foundation for a scene that has so many incredible artists.
Oh,
And it's
absolutely.
really cool to see, like, just all of these bands, like Rise from Your Grave or The Boogeyman or whoever else out there just really doing it, working to, putting in the work and going out there. So I want to give Chad a shout out because, the work he's putting in is incredibly valuable to the scene. Like,
Oh, without a doubt.
yeah, like it's can sometimes go on the back burner and not be noticed what these guys do. But like you were saying, he, as a record, owner, when you sent him that stuff, he talked to you about that, helped you work through that choice.
Mhm.
And it was a good,
Oh
decision, like
yeah,
overall.
yeah.
So yeah, props to Chad. And,
Mhm.
again, focusing back on you guys, like seriously, good work just in general on the
Thank
writing and
you.
the instrumentation. Like, see,
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot to take in, and I think
yeah.
it kind of gives you a little bit of a taste of not only just what we're influenced by, but it also gives you a taste of what not only what we're capable of right now, but what we could be capable of in the future.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I'm super excited. It's
Oh
this
yeah.
is this is really, and I, I'm sure there are a lot of bands that'll be like, well, this is our best record to date, but I
Yeah.
actually mean that. It's
Mhm.
not like it's not like that. Well, I'm going to tell you it's our best record, so you go out and buy it. No, like
Right,
it
yeah.
really is, in my opinion, the best work that we've done so far, and it covers a wide variety of the things that I want to hear as a fan of horror punk as well. And I think I know you and I personally have talked about that before, but like that's ultimately where I come from making all this stuff is like, I write the stuff that I want to hear that either I'm not hearing or I want to hear more of. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's where a lot of like, we've got a song on the record called The Twilight Zone, which is very like doo-woppy inspired, very like 50s, 60s. But it's still got all of that horror punk stuff, all the good, tasty horror punk morsels in it
Oh yeah.
that make it work. But yeah, man, like there's a lot to take in and it happens quickly, but it's without a doubt, my favorite record that we've done so far.
Yeah. So for the audience at home, when you do, hear this record and purchase it, because you'll want to, trust me, when you hear it, he's not wrong. It starts strong, it goes strong, it ends strong, and you're gonna be left wanting more. And I think I'm gonna wrap this up here for you, but like I think it's a fantastic album. I think for the people at home, you should definitely go check it out. I'm personally excited to order my copy eventually when it does go up.
Sure.
Um, I love physical media. If you got a chance to go buy it, you should buy it too. Help support the artist the best way you can is by getting it through physical media. Also do the streaming thing, but buy buy their physical media. Um, and yeah, is there anything, are there any other bands you want to shout out quickly? Is there anything else you want to call out? Any socials you want for
Man.
people?
So I guess I can start with the pre-orders for the album, depending on when this comes out. Pre-orders
I
for the
guess we
album.
should state the name of the album though, really quick,
That's
because
true.
we've
We
talked
never
the
even
whole
got to
time
that.
without saying it.
I just get every time it happened in our interview too. I just get so excited to talk to you that like I forget what we're here to do, and we just like talk the whole time. The album is called Tales of Terror. We had originally called it Cryptid Creature Feature, and as you mentioned when you listened to it, that there was a better name for the album, and I agreed. So the album is called Tales of Terror. It comes out on June 7th, 2024, and pre-releases start on May 7th. So you can get that at risefromyourgrave.bandcamp.com. Or you can get that on Apple Music, anywhere you buy music. I think you could pre-save it. We have Distrokid, so there may be like one of those hyper follow things if you're interested in that. And we will have CDs of the album and the mysterious dubbing video that I posted the other day. We actually have cassettes for the album as well.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap that up here. But before we go, there was something that I need to keep my word on because I made a mistake in editing. And I'm a man of my word. So in our video with the Boogeyman, I accidentally put the wrong logo up for Rise for Your Grave. There is another band out there that had that name for a time, and I accidentally put up the wrong one. That was on me, audience at home, and I apologize. They've actually commented on the video itself, so you can directly link to them on YouTube. When this comes up, I'll make sure to get their correct Bandcamp link out there. I apologize for that. And also for the Boogeyman, I wanted to apologize as well because I put up the wrong album cover for a Drugstore Cowboy, because apparently there's also another Drugstore Cowboy. We take what we do here at Heartfelt Horror very seriously, and we try and always do our best. Sometimes we make mistakes in our editing and stuff like that, but I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for one, coming on the and being a part of Heartfelt Horror proper when that interview comes out. Really did mean a lot to me when you came on. We're a brand new show, and people are taking risks coming out on here, and I'm literally learning as I go with a budget of $0, and it means the world when you guys come out here and trust me with this stuff.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that. And I want the audience at home know we are continually growing, we're continually learning, and I'm just grateful to be here and get to have these wonderful conversations with such cool musicians and wonderful people. So Tom, thank you again for being on the show. Audience at home, thank you for tuning in. And I just want to say, go buy the album. You're gonna love it. It's so good. Ghost in the Graveyard is amazing. So is every other song on the album. So yeah, anyways, I hope you have a good day, Tom, and audience at home, you as well. So bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
man.
All right.